Hi there, this is Mukund Toro, and we are looking at advanced Microsoft project training. This is module 10. We have reached 2-digit number now. And in module 10, we are going to look at how do you control Microsoft project for various scenarios, various situations that you can get into, land into. How do you take action, and thereby how do you control? So the earlier module which we saw was module 9, and in module 9 what we learned was how do we monitor. So how does Microsoft project help us to monitor the variances, to monitor the work, to monitor the dates or whatever. So right now we are looking at how do we take actions based on what we monitor. So we are going to look at some very typical uh, scenarios which we encounter in Microsoft project, the actions therein, and how does the tool help us to take those actions. So that's what we're going to look at in this schedule. I'm sure you'll, in this video, I'm sure you will enjoy and gain useful insight into Microsoft project through this. We are going to look at some typical actions which will help us to get the schedule back on track, back within the schedule, back within the time, back within the cost. So that's what this module 10 is about. But before we get into module 10 per se, there's one small interesting feature of Microsoft project which I'm not sure whether we discussed it before or not, and I wanted to share that information with you. So this is a this is where I'm sharing the I have shared the Microsoft project window with you now. So let us say we are at task 4 right now. This is a very simple schedule, just about 6 tasks and 2 milestones. But in real life, schedules will be much more complex and will be definitely having many more tasks. So one key problem could be that so let us say you want to search for a task bar, a horizontal bar corresponding to the task on the picture side, on the on the right pane, in the right pane. So if you want to do that, one simple way is you scroll through. Yeah. So I want to see task 4, and I scroll through task 4 and I get it here. This is where task 4 is. But if the schedule is a big schedule, a complex schedule, this may take some time to get to the required task. So alternately, what you can do in Microsoft project is that you can choose the task on the left pane. So I have chosen task 4, and then you can say uh, you can say scroll to task. And to scroll to task, you need to go to task, of course, the task tab, and within that you have uh, editing, group, and there you have this scroll to task. So the moment I press scroll to task, automatically the task which I am interested in comes in the center. So once again, let us try this phase 2 completed milestone. Right now it is out of view. It is not there on the screen. So I go to phase 2 completed milestone on the left pane. I select that, and then I say scroll to task. Voila. The task appears in almost in the center of the screen, and I can I can I can look at the dependencies or whatever I wanted to. Another feature which will be in general useful in monitoring and controlling would be what is called as task inspector. So task inspector tells us about the health of the task. So I choose task 1, And the task inspector again is a part of the task tab, and within that it is within the task group here, and I press inspect here. So I press task inspector. It is taking some time to show what it should. Yeah. So now on the left side, you have a task inspector window, which gives you various insights into task one right now. So task one, it says it is auto scheduled. Good. The start date is 10/2. The finish date is 17 to 17/2. Yeah. So since this is a kind of autonomous task, it doesn't depend on any task. There's comparatively less information here. But let us go to task two. So when I go to task two, I get to see lots of lots of interesting information about task two, because task two has some issues. So it's shown in yellow. It's a yellow flag. So the resources on task two are over allocated due to work on on other tasks. So John is the resource who is over allocated in task two, because it is also he is also allocated to some other task in parallel. So it gives me repair option, that to add I can add additional resources by using the assign resource feature. The icon is shown, or I can reschedule the task to the next available time, which is again there's a reschedule task button which is shown here. Yeah, so I can use this information. In addition to that, this is an auto schedule task, starts on 28/2, ends on 5/3, and it depends on finish to start. The predecessor is task one. The predecessor is task one, and that's a finish to start link with zero lag. So you can get to see what is happening with each task using this task inspector. It also gives you suggestions. So while monitoring and controlling, this can be useful. It's a monitoring feature. It shows you yellow flag, for example, here, and it also is a controlling feature because it tells you what exactly you should do. Assign the resources, reschedule task, and so on and so forth. So that's what task inspector is. I wanted to just share these two features with you, which I feel are very useful, which I felt were very useful. One common problem with projects is that the work is at times underestimated. One common problem with any project would be work underestimated. So how can Microsoft project help us with that? Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm right. I'm underestimated. ESTMD, please read it as estimated. It is too long a word for me to write here. So let us say this task 4, which is now partially complete, hmm, which is now partially complete, has a problem. And the problem is that it can't be done in the remaining, the remaining work cannot be, you know, is, yeah, I'm just trying to scroll over there. So the remaining work here is 20 hours, and that perhaps is again a misestimate. The actual work. So let us insert the let us change the table, and I'm changing it to tracking table right now. It will be easier. We are in the entry table right now, and I wanted to go to tracking table. Yeah, so we are in tracking table now, and on task 4. So we are concentrating on task 4 now. The actual duration is 4 days. The remaining duration, I'm sorry, the actual duration is 4 days. The remaining duration is 2 days. The actual work is 12 hours, and we'll add a column here which is uh, remaining work. Here we go. There are quite a few choices here. remaining work. Yeah. So we chose it. I'm sorry, not regular work. I wanted to say remaining work. Just a moment. I need to hide this. And again, add a new column. Yeah. Yeah, it is taking a little longer than what it should. Yeah. So we are with remaining work. Yeah. Finally. So the remaining work on task 4 is 12 hours. And the actual work, which has, sorry, the actual remaining work is not 4 hours. The remaining work is 8 hours. Yeah. Remaining work is 8 hours. Yeah. Now this looks good. Yeah, I'm sorry, it took a little longer than what it should. Yeah. So now let us say we really made a mistake in this project, and the remaining work for task 4 is not 8 hours. Let us say it is another, it is 24 hours. Yeah. So now just watch. Now just watch. So the work has increased to 36 hours. Yeah. And because of which now task 4 has got delayed. Yeah. The task 4 has got extended. So let us undo this. Yeah. Task 4 was ending on 18th of February. Now, thanks to this increase in work, 24, it has moved to the next week. It has moved to 25th of February, 24th of February. Yeah. It has moved to 24th of February. So it has got delayed. So one thing which I can do is I can see if the person assigned, who is John, can he take up extra hours of work? Can he do overtime? And the answer could be yes. Yeah, John is okay with overtime. So what we can do now is I can ask John, and also note the cost here now. The cost, actual cost, um, and let us add one more column, which is cost here. Yeah, here we go, cost. Yeah. So notice, also make a note of the cost. The cost is, the cost is right now 46,025. Yeah. It is going to take 6 more days. So let us see if we change the assignment of John. Yeah. So I have chosen task 4 now, and I click on details here. And the moment I click on details, I get another view in the bottom. I get another view in the bottom which shows the task form. It is called task form, as you would see on the left vertical text. It's called task form, and it shows that John is working at 50% of the unit, working for 36 hours work, and there's also overtime work. Yeah. So let us say that if John works overtime, for 2 hours every day, and um, and he works for 6 hours in total of overtime. So, or let us make it 8 hours. Yeah. So I increase the overtime rate here. Overtime. So I expect now, I expect John to do 8 hours of overtime over this, rest of the 6 days. Yeah. Let us make it 12. Yeah. That will sound good. Yeah. 12. And now I press return here. Okay. And there is no impact yet on the top pane, but the moment I click there, I go there and click, you can see the impact. Now the remaining duration has reduced to 3 days. Remaining duration has reduced to 3 days, but at the same time, the cost has increased, or cost of the phase 2 has increased to 196. And the cost of task 4 in turn has increased to 52. Let us undo this and check the earlier cost. The earlier cost was 46,000. The remaining duration was 6 days. And if I redo this, the cost goes to 52, but the duration reduces to 3 days. So this is how you can make use of overtime. So you can, or rather, the resource may work extra hours beyond the 4 hour capacity that is now available with John. So for that you need to insert total amount of rework time. Mind you, this overtime work also includes, or other way around, the work here also includes overtime. So it is not as if it is 36 plus 12. 36 is the total, out of which 12 hours will be uh, overtime work, and rest of the 36 minus 12, which is 24, 24 will be in the regular work. 24 will be regular work, 12 would be overtime work. So this is how you can assign, or you can hive off some of the effort as overtime work, and you save time. At the same time, the cost goes up. So that's about assigning or not assigning. That's about hiving off some time as some work as overtime work. Another common problem, another common scenario in a project could be that there is increase in scope. There is more work to do than what was planned before. So there's an increase in scope. So if there is an increase in scope, finally, when it comes to the schedule, it will come in terms of increase, additional tasks. So let us say that we have a couple of additional tasks here, and say let us say that there's a task called so let us say additional tasks which have come in recently. So a better word would be revised. A better word would be revised. So revised tasks, and let us say task one. Sorry, task one is already used. So let us say task 15, yeah, and task 20, yeah. These are the new tasks which got added, not 220. Yeah. So I'm not getting into the other details, but let us change or I'm getting into only minimal details, for which we need to change the table, and we go to entry table again. And let us say that this new tasks, task 5 and task 10, which is revised task. So let us promote this so that this becomes a summary task. Yeah. So revised. Oh, so let us say task 15 and task 20, they need to be demoted. Yeah. So now they have become subtasks of revise of a summary task called as revise task, task 15 and task 20. Um, yeah. And let us say that task 15 is going to take 10 days. Task 20 is going to take another, say, 15 days. I'm just putting numbers arbitrarily. Yeah. The start date for task task 20 depends upon task 15. So there's a predecessor here which is 36. Yeah. Okay. And task 15 begins not on the project start, but it begins next week. So let us say it begins on 24th. Yeah. This, yeah, 24th to 6/3 and it starts on 9/3. Yeah. So now we have added a new task. We have added the dates. We have not added resources here. So let us also give it a resource. Let us say John, once again, our favorite resource. Yeah. So John is assigned here. So there is some work also now, 120 hours, which was 0 earlier because no one was assigned. So we have John assigned. We have 120 hours of work. Now, of course, these tasks have to be baselined. So to check on baselining, we switch to table baseline. More tables, baseline table. Yeah. Now what we see here is that the new tasks, the revised tasks, are not baselined. The earlier tasks uh, are baseline. So now if I do a baseline, I run a risk of changing the baseline for the entire project. What I need to do is I need to selectively baseline only task 15 and task 20. How do I do that? So Microsoft has already foreseen this problem. So therefore, it allows you not only uh, you know baseline for the entire project, which is what you see here in set baseline. Yeah, but you can also set baseline for um, selected tasks. So task 15 and task 20 are the new tasks. I have selected only those two tasks, and I say do not baseline the entire project, but baseline only the selected tasks. So I have chosen selected tasks, and I say okay. Yeah, so this baseline is already used. Okay, that's good. Are you sure you want to override? Yeah, I can. I'm sure I want to override. Voila. So only these tasks have new baselines 24, 2, 6, 3, and whatever. The other tasks are no change in the other tasks at all. They are where they were. So if you are adding tasks because of new scope in the project, you can selectively baseline them. That is how this feature helps us. And that's all for now in this module 10. The rest of the controlling we'll look at through the next module, that is module 10.1. Thank you very much for your audience.